In this video, I am going to be telling you about cultural shocks that I had when I relocated from the United Kingdom to the United States. Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Uchiego, and in this channel I share information that help nurses, I share immigration updates, and of course I share career goals. In this video, I am going to be telling you about the 10 or more cultural shocks that I had when I relocated from the United Kingdom to the United States. Grab your popcorn, guys, let's gist. Alright, if you're new to my channel, you're highly welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. Please do well to give this page a follow. My goal in 2025 is to reach 20,000 subscribers. You can make me achieve that goal by hitting the subscribe button and liking this video. The first cultural shock I had, in all honesty, was the charging ports. They have different charging adapters. Yes, so I knew that the United States, if you have a dryer from the UK, it wouldn't work in the United States because the voltage is different, right? So I didn't come with any of my hair dryers or straighteners. However, I did not know that this is how their adapters are. They are either in this form or in this form, right? So I came with my charger that had this form of adapter. So in the hotel, when I and my family were all, trying to settle in, I realized that we couldn't charge our phones. Our only saving grace that night was that we had power bank. So I had to search for those power banks. So that was my first cultural shock. The honest second cultural shock that I had in the United States was the WC. I'm sorry to say, I thought the toilet was overflowing in the hotel. I didn't realize that it's the same standard for all of them. I'll try and find a video and show you. So the WC actually fills the water. It's like a medium or maxi amount. But having lived in Nigeria and the United Kingdom, the surface level of the water, when you look in, is like almost bare below. But here, once I saw it in the hotel, I thought that toilet was overflowing. I flushed it and it still remained the same. So I just felt, okay, you know what, that's it. The third honest cultural shock that I had in the United States was the ATM. The automated teller machine charges you to give you money.
All right, so chances are if you're standing in front of one of these things right here, there's not another option to get cash, so you have to use it. But if you got slapped with the surcharge because you used another bank's ATM, you could now cash in.
You use money to get your own money. It's only if you're withdrawing from your own bank's ATM or automated teller machine or ATM machine, that's when you're not charged. I wanted to withdraw $20 from this certain ATM, and it showed that it was going to bill me $3 to give me $20. I learned the hard way. That's a cultural shock for me, because in the United Kingdom, you can withdraw from any ATM and you will not be charged. Yes. Next one is dates. The United States writes their dates backward. Unlike the United Kingdom, the UK writes their dates, the day, the month, and the year. But the United States writes the month, the day, and then the year. You heard it right. So when I moved here, when I want to write dates, especially at work, I need to pause, think and process what I'm about to write so that I don't make a mistake of writing what I have always been used to all my life. The next cultural shock that I had when I moved here was tipping culture. So we went to eat, and then we were just informed that, oh, you have to tip them here. The only reason why you don't tip them is if you're taking your food out. Meanwhile, we had gone to a restaurant where it was a buffet, so obviously you need to eat in. So, and you were required to tip them. It's expected. To even tell you, when you order pizza online, the driver delivers that pizza to you. On the pizza box, you're going to see tip your driver. You're going to see tip your driver. It's normal here. It's normal. It's a culture. It's cultural. That's not what I'm used to in the UK. In the UK, it's optional if you want to do it or not. So the other cultural shock that I had when I got the accommodation while in the United Kingdom. My expectation was that I was coming to a second floor. When I came here, the first floor was actually what is called the second floor. Basically, in Nigeria and the United Kingdom, once your house is on the ground level, it's called the ground floor. And then whatever house that is above it is called the first floor. And then the next is called the second floor. However, I live in the second floor, but to me, it's called the first floor where I moved from the UK. I lived in the second floor, but you're going to see a house and then another house, if that makes sense. Or an apartment and then another apartment. An apartment, don't come for me. Another cultural shock that I had when I moved to the United States was taxes. The value added tax is not together with the price. Your tax is going to be calculated when you're about to check out. So, for example, if you're buying something worth of $10, your tax might be $10.80. Yes, in the UK, your tax or value added tax is together with the price or the cost of what you want to buy. But here, it's when you want to check out that you definitely find your tax. That was a cultural shock for me. Another cultural shock that I had in the United States was when I was given a consent form to sign by my employer. So basically, before your employer can deposit money into your account, you needed to have signed a consent for them to be able to pay you your salary or your monthly salary into your account. Wow. So in the UK, once you set up your accounts, give your employer your account number, your, sort code and your account number. Here it's called routing number and account number. So you just give it to your employer and automatically your salary comes into your account at the end of the month. But here you needed to sign a consent for them to pay in that money into your account. That was one of the cultural shock that I had. Another cultural shock that I had when I moved here is that some stores open 24/7. Well, I would say not all the stores. A few stores like Walgreens, a few Walgreens stores open 24/7. They offer 24/7 service. I'm used to stores closing in the UK. The maximum I've seen a store stay is 12 a.m. and that was Londis in the UK. Those ones, they would be there till like 11 p.m. But yeah, for a store to run 24/7 service is really great for me because, when patients need to get medications outside the hospital, they would always have somewhere to fall back to. Now, another cultural shock that I had, this one is related to hospital cultural shock, okay? So, I'm used to having units of measurements in a certain way. Now, in the hospital, units of measurements are different here. Their measurements in weight is in pounds. Their measurements in temperature is in Fahrenheit. Some measurements that you would see ounces. I'm used to having measurements in weight as kilograms. I'm used to having measurements of temperature as Celsius. I'm used to having measurements of blood sugar in millimole per liter. Here is in milligram per dl. Okay. I knew those existed, but I needed to wrap my head around it. Another hospital cultural shock that I had as a nurse was medications. I've been a nurse for a good number of years. I've known medications by generic names, but United States calls medication by their brand names. So basically, this one hits me so hard. Within my first week here, like most of the medications that we call in the UK, we are the same names in Nigeria. But when I moved here, for real, they were calling medications in brand names. And what this means is that it's not that you do not know this medication, but I needed to learn those medications in the same brand names my colleagues or co-workers call them, because communication has to be clear, it has to be concise. So if they're communicating to me in a medication, I need to know what they are saying. I'll give you a few examples. The United States calls paracetamol Tylenol. The UK calls it Calpol or paracetamol, but here they call it Tylenol. Okay, that's just number one. The regular ondansetron, which is for vomiting, is called Zofran. The first time I heard Zofran, I'm like, what is this? I just typed it on Google and I saw ondansetron. And then I'm like, wow. That was like, those were my like hospital cultural shock for me. Another medication that is popularly used in the UK when you want to nebulize the patients, ipratropium and albuterol. Here it's called Duoneb. Another one is solumedrol. We all know methylprednisolone. Here it's called solumedrol. So I've just closed from work and I remembered one more cultural shock that I have had in the US. So basically, you can turn right when the traffic light is red. Yes, I'm home now. So I was saying that if the traffic light is in front of you is red, that means stop. You can either turn right or if it's safe to do so. It's still a cultural shock to me. I've seen it countless times. The first time I saw it, it was weird. I'm like, why are they so impatient? You know, until I kept seeing it frequently. Even though I still feel a little bit strange about it, but yes, it happens, it exists. That was one of the cultural shock for me driving here in the United States. So those were my cultural shocks. Okay, all these cultural shocks makes these specific countries unique. They make them beautiful in their own way, but these cultural shocks are based on my own personal experience. I'd love to hear from you. What cultural shock have you had where you are, or what cultural shock have you experienced moving across countries? These are a few of mine and I just thought to share. Just wanted to add friendly talks. Americans are so friendly, they are so chatty. In the UK, people are polite, but they are so reserved. Here, they are very chatty. They speak to you like they've known you before, which is like, okay, that's what's happening, you know. And then aside that, people address people as yes ma'am. That was quite new for me, because you will see someone who is older than me telling me yes ma'am. I mean, yes ma'am. Oh my god. During my first week, it wasn't easy for me to actually say it that way, but over time I got used to even responding to like colleagues, yes ma'am, or you know, responding to patients, yes ma'am, or you know, this was one of the cultural shocks. Usually the people who call you in the UK by your name or call you nurse this, but here is a bit different. Okay, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. While making this video, my baby woke up, so you're gonna hear her voice in the background, and that's okay, because if I don't make this video now, I'm gonna start a night shift today and I have 3 nights. I don't know when I'm gonna make this video. And in 2025, my goal is that I am not procrastinating. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and do well to follow this channel. And I would say again, thank you for watching. See you in my next. Bye.